Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back for yet again another video. Today we're breaking down the trailer for episode 4 of Dead City. We're already about the halfway point as we're getting 8 episodes this go around, but I wanted to break down the trailer, talk about what we got coming, and just where possibly Dead City is possibly heading for this season, and just Walking Dead in general, just because it's been quite the clusterfuck for some time now. But I wanted to jump into this because even though, yes, things are just kind of all over the place with Dead City or just with Walking Dead in general, this has been a good show, in my opinion. It's definitely steps above what Daryl Dixon is. Just Daryl Dixon is just random as crap right now, and just it feels like there's no real direction in the story, and that's what kind of really bugs me the most about it, because it started off with some pretty good direction, and just now it's just like whatever. But with this, I really have enjoyed the show, so let's jump into this trailer for this next episode because I think we have some interesting things coming. But jumping in, we have the group, the Barazzi, Negan, Croat, Dama, and they've since pretty much adopted, I think, our little historian guy here. I think his name was Benjamin Pierce, who is just the guy who takes down history, who wants to write all this stuff down so future generations can read about it and see that humanity did survive the apocalypse, but just how life changed. But we have them heading to, I believe this is a museum, but this is also Bruegel's headquarters from what I have seen. But them going there to meet him and discuss plans of coming together as one big gang and things like that, because the New Babylon forces are there and they have to deal with them. And even though the New Babylon forces have successfully killed about half their force, the first landing party, I guess, that's made their way to the island because of the arrogance of Colonel Lucia, and then the governor getting herself killed, and just they really underestimated what these people were capable of. And I just thought it was hilarious because I can't stand Colonel Lucia. I really hope something bad happens to her. But moving on, just another shot. This is just a front-facing shot. Negan is packing the new Lucille. I'm not real sure still how he feels about it, or just how he feels about the situation, because he has just a different set of morals and everything, different standard of things that the Dama and Croat do not have. Although I think Croats, and just the way that Negan kind of questioned him last episode, he's really kind of gotten in his head a little bit, made him realize that he's not as important to Dama as he might think, and making him kind of maybe question his morals and whatnot, and the things that he's done in his past and just everything. So I'm excited to see how that's going to develop. And just with one of the episodes, I think it's the penultimate episode, is a Croatian name. So he's probably going to die, because I honestly think the whole New York gang angle is going to be wrapped up this season. And then if they go into a third and fourth season, it's probably going to be something completely different. And it's maybe hopefully working up to a bigger story that will get us where we need to go as far as closing out these characters and everything. But moving on, we have the inside of the museum, still very well kept for the most part. This is Bruegel's headquarters, I think so anyways, where they are meeting up. They're there to discuss and formulate plans and whatnot. But we're going to get our first bit of dialogue from Kim Coates, who plays Bruegel, that we did not get in that first episode. But we got our first shot here. We got our first shot of Bruegel, and with his little army in the back, just kind of very medieval almost, with the chest plates and all that stuff. Just they're pretty much just working with what they have. And honestly, this being a museum, this is probably all stuff that they've pilfered from the museum, and they just kind of chosen a look and they're going with it. Then you got Negan here with the new Lucille, kind of giving him, kind of a side-eye look, kind of, you're gonna be very interested in what we have to offer and things like that. But we got a shot of Pearlie here. Now Pearlie, he has been kind of the voice of reason when it comes to Colonel Lucia, and wanting to really make sure Maggie knows that he's on her side, but he's still kind of letting New Babylon, the way the way they do things, kind of get to him and kind of influence his decisions. And I believe also too, they do have his kids, and his wife. So he's just trying to protect people and protect his own and everything like that. Then we get a shot of Maggie here. This is where she first sees Negan, and it's going to be an interesting shot too, considering the next frame. This is her point of view where she sees Negan with that new Lucille. So I'm wondering just what's running through her head when she sees him with this new bat, and just everything that's going to come with that. And I'm just wondering, if she sees him with this, is there going to be like kind of a quick flash maybe of the night that Glenn and Abraham died, and just the terror and everything that was that night in general. Just will this trigger a lot of emotions with her, or she just goes straight to anger? Just what's going to go on there, and just how she's going to react to him when she confronts him when when they first meet up and everything after being apart for so long. Is her first question going to be like, what the fuck are you doing with that thing? Because we know that she's going to see him at some point, and he's going to have that on hand. He's probably going to be kind of disgusted with the fact that he has it. Then just a shot of Pearlie and Maggie and Herschel here. Now Herschel, we have seen his intentions and how he's been very much brainwashed by the Dama. We saw that in the last episode, just all those flashbacks to when he was being held captive. But he was living like a king, basically, having anything that he asked for, and really warped and kind of turned him on his mom. And just really kind of, she got down to the bedrock of a lot of his insecurity and everything, just making him realize that everything that his mom did as far as raising him is wrong, because she's been so focused on Negan, and she's been so focused on the trauma from that night, and just it's really made him really resentful of his mother. And just Dama, just she fed on that. She just relished in this insecurity that he had. And Herschel's going to turn out to be quite an interesting problem. So I'm waiting to see just how they address it and how she's going to do it, and just the level of heartbreak and anger and everything else that she's going to have towards him when she finds out what he's been doing. Because she's kind of got an idea, considering that she realizes that he is the one who set that fire in the, I want to say the first episode or second episode, where he was the one who signaled them and got all those people killed. Then we got our dinner scene with Bruegel and Croat and Dama and Negan just becoming acquainted, where they have their little gladiator fights. And I'm still interested with the whole walker thing. Like how do the walkers know to attack each other? Like, what drives them to do that? Do they put something on them, or just what is the deal with that? And then that walker that wins that fight digs into the other one's head because he's got the spikes on it. And why is the walker tempted to try and eat at it? It's just, I'm interested to see what they did to throw that together and just kind of try to explain that away, because as far as we know, there's no variants in New York, or at least they're not talking about it. And honestly, they've kind of once again abandoned the whole variant angle. So I'm just wondering, how they're going to explain this part. And then we got old Benjamin here being treated very classy, like thrown in the trunk of a car. And this is a Milton ripoff from season 3 and 4. This dude is just full blown Milton, and he's borderline useless as far as being in a fight and everything. We see that he's going to be a very cowardly type. So I don't know what they're doing as far as kind of recycling that same character, or just what's going on here with him, or maybe he's going to play a bigger part. I'm just not sure what they're trying to accomplish with this guy. And we got this first meeting after so long, after over a year, between Maggie and Negan. He's going to have that new Lucille on him. And just what's that first interaction going to be like? Is she going to be just utterly disgusted with it, or just what's going on there? Because he's got this look kind of like, oh shit, like he's been caught. And I'm sure he's surprised too that she's even there. But it should be interesting nonetheless, because we got a handful of other shots. This is Croat's people, I guess Negan's people too, in the museum with a tank of methane. This is probably a peace offering almost, because we know that Bruegel is probably going to be someone that's very easily swayed by anything that's kind of a semblance of what the world used to be like, having some sort of power and just having some sort of things of convenience and whatnot. Because we get this shot, which has been in a few of the trailers, where we see the George Washington painting on fire. And we know that Dama is all about, from what she said in the previous episode, anyways, through the flashbacks, she wants to do away with the past. She wants to forget the past and reinvent everything. She wants to do away with all this. So she's wanting to get rid of history. And then we got the last shot. But I'm very interested to see where this is going to go. Because Negan, obviously, he's not in it. He's not committed to it. He wants out, but he's only doing it for the safety of his family, or what he believes is the safety. I'm not 100% convinced that they actually have his wife and son, or that they're on their way, because I don't think, or I don't see them bringing her in just for a cameo episode. I don't see her agreeing to that. And I hope to God they don't try to recast the part. That would just be really annoying. And just to bring her in just to kill her even more. That would be the dumbest thing ever. So I don't see them actually having any idea where they are. This is them bluffing just to keep him in line because they just are so convinced that they can't achieve their mission without him. So we got a lot of stuff going on, and just in my opinion, this is just a far better story than what we've seen with Daryl Dixon. And it seems like they're kind of recycling the same thing over and over. Something I've bitched about to nauseum in other videos, but it just seems like there's a lot more going on with this, and there's a lot more potential for a better story. And I'm really hoping that with the fact that they've kept those last couple of episodes secret, that means that they've got something. Like I would be happy with a cameo, but it would have to be the right characters. And of course, those right characters, in my opinion, and I think in a lot of other people's opinions, would be Dwight and Sherry. Like they got word that Negan's alive, that he's raising up an army again, or something like that. Something happens where they come across each other. And I think that would be kind of the perfect way to close out their history. If they can come to an agreement or something, they can see that he's not that guy anymore, that he is remorseful about the things that he's done, and just it would be a great way to kind of reintroduce them back into the Walking Dead universe. But honestly, there's been no word of Austin Emilio or the actress who plays Sherry coming in to do anything, so we'll have to wait and see. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, consider subscribing, come back to the channel for more content just like this. I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.